Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over a very interesting class and one that makes use of my favourite weapon in the game, the Raffica. The assassin class is all about moving quickly across the map to infiltrate camping spots to take out enemies who are on kill streaks. As a result, mobility is key, which is why we're going to be starting with the secondary weapons, which are actually the bread and butter of this class. I'll be using the Rafficas because they are highly mobile and deadly at close range, which is where the majority of your engagements should take place. I don't use any optics because I'm dual wielding, and I use the standard suppressor, and I've talked about why I prefer the standard suppressor to the agency suppressor in my infiltrator class video, which you should definitely check out. I use the chrome lined barrel as it increases bullet velocity, and the SWAT 5mm laser as it does wonders for the hip fire accuracy. I use the 24 round speed mags as well, because A, you don't need any more than that, and B, the 30 round speed mag comes with a load of disadvantages that I just don't need. And in terms of the primary, I basically keep it for long range only as a continuation of force for when the Rafficas are just going to be ineffective at a certain range. And I run an AK with a load of range boosting attachments, none of which are important because it really doesn't matter. But basically you can run whatever you like, M14, M16, AUG, Krig, whatever, it doesn't matter. But as long as it compensates for the Raffica's inability at long range, it's good. For your tactical, take a flashbang or a stim shot if you're playing in normal core, and then take a frag or a semtex, whichever one you prefer, as your lethal. For a field upgrade, a field mic may be useful as it allows you to gauge the whereabouts of your enemies as you run into their camping spot, but field mics are kind of useless in hardcore, so I took a landmine instead. For perks, I'm using perk greed to take 6 perks instead of the usual 3. I use engineer to identify gas mines or trophy systems when I'm running into camping spots. And then my other perk one is kind of up to you, it doesn't really matter, but I used paranoia. For perk 2, I use tracker for following enemies, because you're going to be spending quite a lot of time behind enemy lines, so it's kind of nice to be able to see where they are and maybe get that extra kill. And I also used assassin, because that's sort of the whole point of this class, removing people on streaks before they can do any real damage. And as for perk 3, you've guessed it, I used Ghost and Ninja because that's just the best combo in the history of the universe ever. It's like strawberries and cream on steroids. As for kill streaks, I use the RCXD because I'm a big fan, I like driving things, and it's also great for just driving into camping spots and buildings and then just using that to blow up the campers. I would also recommend the cruise missile and the war machine for bombarding hard to reach camping spots. And in terms of how you're actually going to play this class, your job is basically to infiltrate camping spots to take out enemies who are camping, or rush someone who is on a streak and take them out. You're just kind of like the kill streak denial service on your team. You've got to make sure that none of the enemies on their team get any significant kill streaks, because something big like an AC-130 or a chopper gunner, that can change the course of the match, and it's your job to make sure that that does not happen. In terms of team play, the assassin is sort of a one-man army type of class. You don't really need anyone else with you, but another player with an M16 or something to compensate for the lack of range when it comes to the Rafficas might be useful, to just provide that continuation of power, so he covers for you at long range and you cover for him at short range, that sort of thing. But other than that, you can basically do it alone with this class. It's very, very good at just being a one-man army, especially when you're using pretty much specialist weapons like the Rafficas. So that's about it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all later. Stay safe and goodbye.